We would like to thank our Sapphire Spirit sponsors, the Hackensack Meridian, Hackensack University Medical Center, and the Grattal family. We would like to thank our Shining Star sponsors, NJM Insurance Group, TD Bank, Northeastern Arborist Supply, Valley National Bank, and Jane Herbert. We would like to thank our Yellow Daffodil sponsors, Spile Loft Westwood, Park Ridge Discount Tire, Yvonne Briner, Rose Lictro, A. Macchione Brothers, Dr. Harry Elia, Park Ridge Rotary Club, and JVS Christmas Lighting. And to Blue Foundry Bank. We would like to thank all our other sponsors and all the businesses and supporters who contributed to this event. Thank you for your part.
Hello everybody, welcome to the 6th annual Child Safety Fest, sponsored by Jones Joy Foundation. I am Mandana Yazdi. I'm a pediatrician in Wyckoff, and I became involved with Jones Joy Foundation about 3 years ago when I met Rosemary, who's the founder of Jones Joy Foundation and the mother of Joan, in a mindfulness class in Ramapo. She invited me to the fountain. It was the opening of the fountain in April 19th, where they were showing the fountain, and I saw where they have donated for the garden. And following September, I attended my first Child Safety Fest. It was at that festival where I realized what Rosemary and her foundation does for children and their safety, and the organizations she supports for child safety, which you will see in these videos. And also all the laws that she has passed in these past 27 years of the movement. As a pediatrician and as my faith as a Baha'i in service to children, now me and my husband are both on the board of Jones Joy Foundation, and we thank you for joining us in any way you can in your service or in your support that you can give us to this great foundation. I've been asked by Rosemary to say a prayer, and I picked a prayer from the Baha'i writings from Abdul Baha, who's the son of the Prophet of Baha'u'llah, for children. O thou kind Lord, these lovely children are the handiwork of the fingers of thy might and the wondrous signs of thy greatness. O God, protect these children, graciously assist them to be educated and enable them to render service to the world of humanity. O God, these children are pearls. Cause them to be nurtured within the shell of thy loving kindness. Thou art the bountiful, the all-loving.
Hello, I'm Mayor John Rucco of Hillsdale. It's hard to believe that I was a college junior in 1973 when I first heard of the tragedy that had befallen Joan D'Alessandro and her family. Like many others, I couldn't comprehend how such a thing could happen, nor how her parents would cope with the loss of a beloved daughter. But I began to understand much better after I moved to Hillsdale from Manhattan 8 years later. I met Rosemary D'Alessandro as a fellow parishioner of St. John the Baptist Church here in Hillsdale, and from that point on learned of her fortitude and dedication, and her steadfast resolve to see that from this tragic event good things might spring up. And they have. Rosemary and her two sons moved state and federal governments to pass laws that address child murders involving sexual assault. She also got them to pass legislation that enhanced victims' rights. And she did this both in New Jersey and in New York. But Rosemary didn't stop there. She and her sons created the Joan D'Alessandro Memorial Foundation to promote child safety and protection, advance victims' rights, and help homeless and neglected youth through counseling and mentoring. The community of Hillsdale, indeed all residents in New Jersey and New York, owe Rosemary the gratitude that one who fights for the protection of our children so richly deserve. If you are a parent or grandparent, you know what I am speaking of, because all of us in our hearts can identify with the love that Rosemary had for Joan and how that love survived a tragedy to transform itself into something very positive and something to respect and admire. Rosemary, I wish that the 2020 Child Safety Fest is a great success and hope that you and the foundation continue to galvanize the community into a greater appreciation for the need to protect our most precious of gifts, our children. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Lieutenant Kelly Crane of the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, Major Crimes Unit. I just want to thank Prosecutor Mark Musella and Chief Rob Angelotti for allowing me to speak on today's 6th annual Joan's Joy Day. I appreciate the time. I briefly want to describe the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. We have pretty much two different sides of law enforcement. We have your criminal and you have your legal. First, you have your detectives who investigate the crimes, and then you have your legal side who prosecute the crimes. And with that said, today I want to talk a little bit about child safety as well as crimes against children. We have three distinct units that handle these crimes. The first one is cyber crimes, or the cyber crimes unit, that handle crimes against children over the internet. The second one is the special victims unit. They handle crimes against children that are physical, such as child abuse and sexual assault. The third is the one I work with, is the homicide unit. And the homicide unit obviously deals with the death of children. All three units have specific jobs to do. And all three units are involved in child safety as well as crimes against children. And we take this very, very seriously. Majority of the time, a call will come in from a municipality, and we deal with them, and we work this case together. And from that point, the detectives investigate and turn it over to the prosecutors who prosecute the case. And what we try and do is, in every case, make sure that we fulfill our duty in investigating it and prosecuting it. And we will not rest, and we will make sure that the children of Bergen County are safe, and if they aren't safe, that we bring justice to them and their families. Thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm Veronica Cole. Thank you so much for having me. This song is dedicated to Joan and her beautiful family. This is for anyone who has ever felt low inside and that they don't believe in themselves. The song will always remind you that there's a warrior in you. Every day I wake up gratefully, knowing every breath I take isn't ever guaranteed to me. Do you know that feeling of your faith, knowing someday you'll be begging, please let me breathe. So don't ever regret taking chances, do the things that make you reckless. Search for things you've never known before. 'Cause you never know when this time's over, when one goodbye can last forever. Never gonna say goodbye to you. I'll see you later. You're a warrior, warrior. Show 'em that you got what it takes. Never let no one take your place. Warrior, warrior. It's in you to be the best that you can be, so let it be. You're a warrior, a warrior. There's a champion, a warrior in you. Baby, you're a warrior.
Next up, we have Adrian Hoffman from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. This organization was founded by John Walsh, who I met in 2007 at the New Jersey State Prosecutors Convention when I was representing the foundation.
Hi, my name is Adrian Hoffman Lewis, and I am with the Family Advocacy Division at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I am honored to be here virtually at the Jones Joy Child Safety Fest to give you a brief introduction to the center and the resources we offer to help make the children in your community safer. We were founded in 1984 by John and Rebay Walsh after their 6-year-old son Adam was abducted from a shopping mall in Florida. He was later found murdered 100 miles from his home. His tragic death and that of other missing children inspired a movement to create a coordinated national response to the issues of missing and exploited children. NCMEC is a nonprofit, non-governmental organization based in Alexandria, Virginia. Over the past 3 decades, we've grown from a handful of staff to more than 300 employees, hundreds of volunteers, and offices in 5 states. We partner with the Department of Justice and many other stakeholders and are congressionally authorized to perform 15 specific duties related to missing and exploited children. Everyone here at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is working to fulfill our mission: to find missing children, reduce child sexual exploitation, and prevent future victimization. We are motivated by hope. We hope that all missing children will be found safe. We hope all children will heal from sexual exploitation. And we hope to put ourselves out of business one day by preventing future victimization of all children. We have many programs of work in place to help locate missing children and reduce child sexual exploitation. But what I really wanted to talk with you about today is our unique bird's eye view of the evolving threats to our nation's children. As a 24/7 organization that has been on the forefront of child protection for more than 30 years, we feel that it is our responsibility to share this knowledge with families and communities so they can better protect their children. Our experience and data is the foundation of all of our safety programs. Our prevention resources are free, age-appropriate, and completely customizable. We hope to empower children, parents, and the community to stay safe with point-in-time delivery, follow-up, and take-home materials. We also offer training and technical assistance for child-serving professionals and resources for the community. To view more about who we are, the programs we have in place to address missing and exploited children, and the prevention resources available to you and your community at no cost, please visit our website at www.missingkids.org. We also have full-length resource modules on our online learning platform, NCMEC Connect. Be sure to register on NCMEC Connect to learn more about us and access our trainings and resources for prevention. Thank you so much for joining me today, and stay safe.
can slowly start to build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but finally a city of man.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light you'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Oh, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, darling, won't you stand by me? Stand by me. Stand by me.
Hello to Rosemary, John, and Michael D'Alessandro, and the Jones Joy Foundation. Thank you for having me and support this message of hope and action for the child's safety, because that's what this is all about.
Yeah, well, now's the time for all of us to get together with one another. We got to iron out our problems and iron out our quarrels and try to live as brothers and try to find the peace within without stepping on one another. And do respect the women of the world. Remember, we all had mothers. We got to make this land a better land than the world in which we live. And we gotta help each man to be a better man with the kindness that we give. Yeah, I know we can make it. I know damn well we can work it out. Yes, we can. I know we can. Yes, we can. Why can't we if we wanna? Yes, we. I know we can make it. I know we sure can. We can work it out. Yes, we can. I know we can. Yes, we can. Oh, why can't we if we want to? Yes, we. And we gotta take care of all the children of the world. 'Cause they're our greatest hope for the future. Little bitty boys and girls. We got to make this land a better land than the world in which we live. And we got to help each man to be a better man with the kindness that we give. Yeah, I know we can make it. I know dang well we can work it out. Yes, we can. I know we can. Yes, we can. Why can't we if we want to? Yes, we can.
Hi, I'm Nancy Candia, and I'm so grateful to have been asked to help out the Jones Joy Foundation with the Child Safety Fundraiser. So grateful for all the work that those guys do. So what I'd like to do with you today is go through a relaxation and a few moments or a couple minutes of mindfulness. So we'll just start. Please get comfortable in a seat. Please, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. So begin to notice the temperature of the space that you're in, any sounds. Notice where your feet are touching the ground. The backs of your legs are touching the support underneath them. Notice where your hands are touching the legs or the chair that you're sitting in. Notice if your shoulders are lifted or relaxed. Soften the inner and outer corners of your eyes. And notice the air coming in and out through your nose. All right. So just that few seconds of mindfulness can always help slow us down and make us feel a little bit more centered. Let's do some breath work. Okay, so I want to stretch out the upper body. So notice how it feels to breathe. Notice if it's easier to inhale or easier to exhale. Okay, go ahead, interlace your fingers, turn your palms inside out, press your palms forward and round your spine. Take a deep breath. On your next inhale, lift your arms up overhead and take a breath here. Bring your hands behind your head, elbows up, take a breath here. Good. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your chin up and take a breath here. Twisting off to one side. Good. And the other. Good. Come back to center and just sit back and notice how it feels to breathe. Nice. And that is our few moments of mindfulness.
It's not simple to say, but most days I don't recognize me.
These shoes and this apron, this place and its patrons
Have taken more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything like I used to be.
Although it's true, I was never attention's sweet center, I still remember that girl.
She's imperfect, but she tries.
She is good, but she lies.
She is hard on herself. She is broken, won't ask for help.
She is messy, but she's kind.
She is lonely most of the time.
She is all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie.
She is gone, but she used to be mine. And it's not what I asked for. Sometimes life just slips in through a back door
and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true.
Now I got you. You're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I would give it all back.
For a chance to start over and rewrite an ending or two. For the girl that I knew
Who'll be reckless just enough.
who'd get hurt, but who learns how to toughen up
when she's bruised and gets used by a man who can't love.
And then she gets stuck and is scared of the life that's inside her.
Growing stronger each day till it finally reminds her
to fight just a little and bring back the fire in her eyes.
that's been gone, but used to be mine. Used to be mine. She's messy, but she's kind.
She is lonely most of the time.
She's all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine.
Behind me are often seen as symbols of strength and sometimes hope in the worst of times. But they really cannot compare to the strength I see in Rosemary and both of her sons. As many of you know, Joan, Rosemary's daughter, was taken from them on April 19th, 1973. The foundation she and her sons founded has been steadfast about preserving the safety of our nation's children, and to me, there is no greater way to honor Joan's memory. Rosemary has transformed the loss of a child into such a positive mission and message for all of us. And I'm very honored to know her. Please support Joan's Joy and help Rosemary continue to do the work that has made so many children so much safer. God bless you, Rosemary. You are my hero.
Take a look around you and tell me what you see. It takes a little courage and some humility. Take a look inside and tell me how you feel. Most of it is illusion, some of this is real. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. I hope you find this soul and so much more. I hope your tears will dry someday. This is all for you, I pray. And when those tears begin to roll down your face, you know those tears will never leave a trace. You know they won't. Those tears will never leave a trace, no, no. Never wanna let you go, let you run away. Nothing more that I can do, and nothing I can say. Only wanna keep you warm inside. Now it's all that I can do with the storm I try to hide. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. I hope you find this soul and so much more. I hope your tears will dry someday. This is all for you, I pray. When those tears begin to roll down your face, you know those tears will never leave a trace. You know they won't. Those tears will never leave a trace, no, no. This is the sound of angels sighing. This is the sound angels crying. I hope your tears will dry someday. This is all for you, I pray. I hope your tears will dry someday. This is all for you, I pray. I hope your tears will dry someday. Yeah. for you I pray. This is all for you. This is all for you. This is all for you I pray.
Why do all the worst things happen to the best of us? And why does all the life God made just turn to dust? And why the hell is there a hell at all? And why would God let angels fall if they were created to fly? So if you're up there, could you ask him why? And send me a butterfly and let it be the color of your eyes and show me a falling star. The second I'm wondering where you are, let me hear our favorite song. The next time I turn the radio on, if you're up there on the other side, send me a butterfly.
If I can hear, please, I'll put your voice in this. Okay! Oh, is Ray here? Yes.
And tell me why it had to be your time to go. If you're in a better place, and I've just gotta know, are there angels where you are? 'Cause where I am feels so dark. I've never seen a blacker night. So if you're up there where it's always light, send me a butterfly. Let it be the color of your eyes. Show me a falling star. The second I'm wondering where you are, let me hear our favorite song. The next time I turn the radio on, if you're up there on the other side, send me a butterfly. Send me a butterfly. Oh, I know they say to have some faith, but right now I just need a sign. So send
How
me
you
a
doing? Are you doing okay today?
Let it be the color of your eyes. Show me a falling star. The second I'm wondering where you are, let me hear our favorite song. The next time I turn the radio on, if you're up there on the other side, I know you're up there on the other side. Send me a butterfly.
Plant some flowers. First, put some water.
Send me a butterfly.
They really grow with rain. God makes them do. We like that. That's good.
Remember, Jones, today so tomorrow's children will be safe.
Hi, I'm Rosa. I'm one of the Star2 volunteers here at the shelter in Englewood, New Jersey. These are some of our cats. This is our shelter, as you can see. We're a no-kill animal shelter, and we have dogs and cats, and we're just a great organization trying to save animals. Jones Joy was here at some point last year with an organization with children, and it was fabulous. The children interacted with the animals, with the dogs and the cats, and it was awesome. It was a great experience for all of us.
Hello everyone, my name is Olivia Galgano. I am a professional ballet teacher. I was a professional ballet dancer when I was younger. I come from Boston. I started up in Boston. I had joined the Boston Ballet Company, and then because they didn't continue on with their work, I ran to New York, took an audition, and was very fortunate to get into the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, which at the time was located in the United States. I traveled around the States. We must have hit every little city in the country, and it was very much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I got to do some professional solo dancing as well with the company. At the end of my dancing with the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, I then had met my husband, and we stayed in New York, and I turned into some teaching. I love teaching, and that's of course where I was able to meet Joan D'Alessandro. She was studying at the Joan Wolfe School of Ballet, which I'll get back to in a minute. My first professional teaching was at a studio called Blanche in New York City. Then I came out to New Jersey, and I then did join Joan Wolfe, and then I had my own studio in Closter with a friend for many years, and I also had another studio in Ridgewood with another friend, which is where I am right now. Now, getting back to Joan, it was at the Joan Wolfe School of Ballet that I met her. Sweet, charming little girl who loved to dance. She had a beautiful smile, and she was very affectionate, and she was very contagious to love with, okay? Hello. I'd like to introduce you to my granddaughter. Her name is Sophia. She also is a ballet dancer. She's going to represent Joan D'Alessandro, and I'm going to teach you a lot of the steps that I did teach Joan, who loved to do them. When Joan danced, she always had a smile on her face. Now, here we go. We always would start off with the positions. First position, and second position, and fifth position. That was always very smart. Joan learned very well. She was a bright girl. The next thing we would always do are the pliés. We'd stand in a position and do 2 pliés and a releve. And a 1, and a 2, 3, and a 4, and up. Hold and down we go. 1, and a 2, 3, and a 4, and up. Very good. That really worked their feet, and they like getting taller. As they got older, we put them into point shoes. That's really hard work. Now, the other thing Joan liked to do that we did were called spring points. And spring points and claps help to teach them rhythm. So there's a little mathematics going on here. Today we're going to do 4 spring points and 4 claps. And here we go. 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, and we clap our hands. We go 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Clap our hands, and here we go. Excellent. As I said, I would sometimes do 8 claps and 4 spring points, or 6 claps and 2 spring points. That gave them really thinking. Now, here we go now. We're going to move across the floor. These are little chassés, gallops we call them. This is where Joan would run to be the first one in line. She always liked to be the leader. So I would say, okay, everybody, let's get in line, and she'd be there, standing there, ready to go. So here we go. And 1, and a 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. 1, and a 2, 3, and a 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Wonderful. Okay, now the last thing, as we got older, they had to learn how to do on one leg standing with the other leg up. So we would do what's called a passe position. And we'd see who could stand the longest. Believe it or not, Joan was always one of the last ones up there. She'd hold it for a very long time. Very good. So that's pretty much a lot of what we did. At the end, we would try this nice little curtsy as they come to the center and curtsy. And again, she'd be running the first one. She'd take her beautiful curtsy, cute smile on her face, and run back. But we're just going to curtsy today, no running. So here goes Sophia. And curtsy here, and curtsy here, and throw kisses to everybody out. And then they run and skip off the stage. Hello again, everyone. I just want to say the spirit of Joan D'Alessandro continues to live today. We see her in the butterflies as they flow by. It's all due to the perseverance and dedication of her mother, Rosemary, who has made such a tremendous difference for us today, and her two brothers, who also are so dedicated. They have changed the laws and they have made child safety a much, much stronger event today. So thank you for being here today, and may I also thank my granddaughter, Sophia, for her dancing for us here today, and my granddaughter, Alexandra, who was able to film this. Stay well, everybody, and keep Joan's spirit alive.
My grandma Jackie and I recorded 2 songs for Joan's Joy Safety Fest. We dedicate the first song, Ode to Joy, to Joan, because it was her favorite song and she loved to play it on the piano. We picked the second song, Let It Be by the Beatles, because we found it relevant to the foundation and everything going on in the world as well. The message is to keep the faith and don't give up hope, even when times are tough, which is something we all know Joan's Joy has done over the years, and it has fought tirelessly to help keep the children safe and for them to have justice, in memory of Joan. God bless everyone, and God bless Joan's Joy.
And today I'm going to be reading The Lucky Book of Riddles by Eva Moore. This was one of Joan's favorite books. She picked it out from the book list in 2nd grade when she was 7 years old. She really loved this book. She even wrote her initials on the front cover. And you could ask anyone in her class, she really loved to crack jokes, and jokes were her favorite. So that's why she picked out The Book of Riddles as her favorite book to read. So I'm going to read you a couple of the pages from the book. So here are the riddles. You cannot see it, but you know it is there. You can see what it does to your hat, to your hair. What is it? It is the wind. Here is something that likes the wind. It flies in the sky, but it does not have wings. It has a tail, but it does not have legs. What is it? It is a kite. It has a head, but it cannot think. It has 4 feet, but it cannot walk. What is it? It is a bed. What do you always take off last before you get into bed? You take your feet off the floor. Its hands are always on its face when it goes. It stays in one place. What is it? It's a clock. They have tongues, but they do not talk. You tie them up when you go for a walk. What are they? Shoes. Who always goes to bed with shoes on? A horse. When do chickens have 8 feet? When there are 4 of them. Why did the chicken run across the road? To get to the other side. How many sides does a barrel have? 2 sides, the inside and the outside. What is the best thing to put into a pie? Your teeth. Sometimes it is short, sometimes it is tall, sometimes you cannot see it at all. What is it? It is a shadow. It has a head, it has a tail, but it does not have a body. What is it? It is a coin. What looks like half a cheese? The other half. Hi diddle diddle, there's the last riddle. What has no ends and a hole in the middle? The letter O. So this was one of Joan's favorite books, and I was happy enough to read it to you today. And again, it's The Lucky Book of Riddles, and it was one of her favorites in 2nd grade. Thank you. Hi, my name is Cameron Nagel, and today I'm going to be singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow from Wizard of Oz. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rucco. I'm a professional illustrator and I illustrate picture books. And I want to talk a little bit of why I'm talking to you today. It's because one of the books I illustrated turned out to be an iconic book and a book that I find very special in all the work I've done in the past. I met Rosemary D'Alessandro a few years ago because I had signed another book for her that she found especially interesting, and it was titled My Mama Had a Dancing Heart. So I came to her house to sign this particular book for her as a special gift. And after that, I started working on a personal picture book that I was doing for Simon & Schuster. And lo and behold, because I met Rosemary and I saw the great work she was doing for Jones Joy, I decided to dedicate this book to her. And the book is titled Draw. And the book is a very personal book in a sense that I was one of the first times I decided to write a book about a little of my experience as an artist and as a child, how I got started basically and got into drawing. And it's about a little boy who spends his time, his childhood basically, drawing away, mostly because he can't go to school because he's a sick boy. So that's what you see here. And spends his time in bed. But in this particular book, I wrote about a boy who used to, or was interested in drawing animals, and does his own little safari, and ends up going to Africa. How he gets there, well, if you see the book, you'll realize how he did that. But there you see him in different illustrations. You will be able to see that he's taking his time to draw all kinds of animals in Africa. And that's his adventure, trying to capture everything to do with Africa, these African animals. And at some point, he meets all kinds of animals, as you can see here, and he's drawing a gorilla, hippopotamus, and as you saw before, lions. Sometimes the tables turn on him, and sometimes his guests take the time to draw him. So it was the story of everything he went through in this little adventure. Finally, this elephant who becomes his friend says goodbye, and the adventure ends with the boy back in his room where it all started. And if you notice, the book you didn't see any words. There's no text to the book. This is a wordless picture book, and that was the other interesting part of doing this special book, because in this case, the illustrator and author, which is me, of course, is leaving the text and the story to you. The pictures will tell the story, but only the reader will figure out the story, and the reader usually figures out the story in his own way. He puts his own input into it, or she puts her own input into it, and uses her own imagination or his imagination to tell the story. Every time I visit schools, the children have their own way of telling the story. And that's the idea of a wordless picture book. allows the reader to use his own imagination in telling the story. And that's why they're still published today. I've published a couple of those. But this one is very special because it's for Joan and in her memory. And I hope you all feel like I do about Joan's Joy and the safety of children, and give all your support to Joan's Joy. That's why I'm here today. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Carly Gemalera. Today I'm going to play 3 songs. My first song is Ode to Joy. I wanted to play this song because I know it was Joan's favorite song. My last song is When the Saints Go Marching In.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and fate is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. sugar coil. Sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you ever need a friend, I am sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind. Oh.
Hi, my name is Janelle Heisey, and I'm here to give you some tips on creating a welcoming habitat to attract butterflies to your home. My first tip, if you're choosing to design a butterfly garden on your property, is to pick a sunny spot. Butterflies love to bask in the sun. They're a kind of insect that cannot regulate their internal body temperature, and they depend on the sun for energy. So if you're designing a butterfly garden, make sure to choose a spot that it gets at least 6 solid hours of sunlight per day. My second tip would be to provide some protection from the wind. Just think how hard a little butterfly has to struggle in breezy conditions. On your property, wind protection can come from a fence, your house, or tall plantings such as you see here. My third tip is to provide a variety of nectar sources from spring through fall. Most of us have flowers blooming in our gardens in the summertime, but have you thought about what is in your garden for the butterflies in April or say October? Some favorite plants that butterflies get nectar from are Gaillardia, Liatris, Coreopsis, bee balm, butterfly weed, and then closer to the fall, autumn joy sedum, New England aster, and goldenrod. My fourth tip is to provide a diversity of flowers, as you see in this video. Butterflies like monarchs and swallowtails enjoy large, flat surface flowers that provide a stable landing space. Flowers that have lots of small clusters, such as milkweed, attract butterflies of all sizes. My fifth tip is to provide host flowers and plants for butterflies. Butterflies need something to eat. Those cabbage whites we just saw were probably looking for some member of the cabbage family. They like to lay their eggs on broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, turnip plants. Another good host plant for butterflies is nasturtiums. As well as dill. Another tip for attracting butterflies to your property is to plant flowers in vases. Butterflies are actually quite nearsighted. They can see very well up to 10 or 12 feet away, but after that everything looks quite blurry. So planting flowers in large groups will help them to be seen from far away and help the butterflies focus in on a food source. I hope you've enjoyed these tips on how to attract butterflies to your property.
Hi, my name is Sydney, and this is a little bit about my story. My whole life, I have endured extreme bullying to the point where I didn't even want to go to school anymore. Girls were always mean to me, and they publicly humiliated me any chance that they had. I developed extreme anxiety and was in and out of the hospital for months during middle school due to the stress my body went through from anxiety. I went from a happy, honor roll student to always sad and in my room, and my grades decreased dramatically. I was always sad about having to go to school, so I eventually spoke to adults that I trusted and asked for advice. I always got the same advice to ignore it and it would go away or they would eventually give up. I tried this and I was picked on even more. When I first told Rosemary about my problems at school, she supported me and gave me amazing advice. She didn't push me aside like most adults did or tell me to ignore the bullies. Rosemary taught me how to respond kindly, but not allow myself to be treated badly. She taught me how to stick up for myself when I didn't know how to. She gave me a voice when I didn't know how to. I believe Jones Joy Mindful Relaxation and Kindness program would help the bullies learn the negative impact that they make on others and help teach kindness and the importance of being kind to everyone's peers. Rosemary has already helped me so much with dealing with the bullies, and I know she'll make a huge impact in schools. Most schools say they enforce a no bullying policy, but never seem to do much when bullying does occur in school. As well as this, victims are often afraid to speak up for themselves due to the fear that bullies have given them. I think that students and teachers need to be educated on the awareness of bullying and how kindness needs to be instilled in schools, so no child hates learning or going to school like I did. Rosemary makes a difference in everything that she does, and I believe that she's going to make a huge impact on students doing this program, and I would love to watch her do it, and I would love to experience it in my school.
Hi, I'm Senator David Carlucci. I want to thank all of you for participating in this extremely important conversation about keeping our children safe. As a father, a parent of 2 young boys, I know this is the most important thing that we can be doing as leaders in our community. I want to thank all of you who have stepped up to the plate, have added your suggestions and inputs, and have made a difference in keeping our children safe. I want to thank Rosemary for your commitment and dedication to being a strong and steady voice in looking out and protecting our children. I've had the honor of working with you in sponsoring Paula's Law in the New York State Senate, and look forward to continuing to work with you and everyone involved to pass that law and other measures to keep our children safe. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kayla Pringle. I am a current freshman at Northeastern University up in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm here to talk looking for more opportunities to volunteer. And so I went on this website, it was Volunteering in Bergen, and I saw this opportunity, and it had said come insert clothes for a future garage sale. And at first I was like, this seems like a little bit of a sketchy request, but I ended up saying, okay, so I applied for it, and that's when Rosemary got back to me. She's like, of course, this would be great, you can come over, help me sort, you can take anything you're interested in, just be for a few hours, and I was like, okay. So I came over, I sorted, and I helped, and it was such a great time, and then that is when towards the end, my mom was late to picking me up, and Rosemary and I just had the chance to sit down and talk to each other. So that was when things started picking up, because Rosemary would ask me about everything, just like about my future, what I want to do, and then she started introducing me to Joan's Joy. So she shared with me the story. She took me to Joan's old room, and she was just kind of sharing what exactly the organization did in terms of child safety and just all this information. I was like, oh my goodness, I have to be more involved in this. So she gave me the stuff, and then she took down my email, and she's like, yeah, I'll email you in the future. I was like, okay. And then that was that for a while, and then more events started happening, like the bowling event. I was there. She invited me to the Christmas party, and it just feels like such a wonderful community of individuals who want to come together to promote child safety in any way possible. And then time passed, but we get to the summer. So I got an email about a garage sale asking for volunteers, and I was like, absolutely. And so I show up, I start volunteering and everything. There's a whole lot of clothes, everything is great. And then Rosemary starts talking to me about this book, The Killer Across the Table. And so I was like, well, of course I want to support and obviously learn more about Joan's story. So I asked my aunt to buy me the book. And then I read it the following week. Goodness, this was honestly one of the most difficult reads for me because it was brutally honest. There was nothing held back, and it just really pained me to see all that such a young person had to go through. Like, there's no words that I can truly use to describe, like, the emotions I felt as I read the story about the person who killed Joan. And so it was just so difficult. It really was, having to sit through and like listen to the details about exactly what happened to her, how she was just going around selling Girl Scout cookies and everything, and that she was just so easily taken advantage of. And it really hurt to kind of like have to sit through the analysis as well of the killer, and just, it was very difficult, I have to admit. Like, I know that it's very difficult and that it's very, like, it gets to a point where it's difficult to proceed with reading, but I felt that it was essential as part of volunteering in this organization because I wanted the chance to understand Joan, because so much has happened because of her and her energy and just the person that she was. And I wanted to understand all parts of her story and what made the organization that I volunteer for today what it is. So I read the book, and it definitely made me feel like a string was pulling me towards the organization. I felt like there was just no way I couldn't continue to work for child safety after this, and I am just amazed at how much Rosemary was able to achieve after this. Like the fact that she was able to get up and work to get all the legislation she got passed, and she works to raise funds for all these different events for children and tries to educate the greater community about child safety, and I just think it's so amazing. And I have to admit, I think everyone should read this book. It was difficult, yes, but we need to understand all parts of Joan's story to be able to continue to work forward for child safety, because we can't just gloss over it like it doesn't exist. Otherwise, we're not truly understanding our mission. Our mission is to prevent events like that from ever happening again. No child should ever have to go through that. So I would strongly recommend the book. Thank you all so much for your time. Again, it's called The Killer Across the Table, John Douglas and Paul Olshaker. Please, I recommend reading it. Please do. Thank you. Stay safe, stay well in this time, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.
My name is Yvonne Reiner, and I am honored to be part of the online Hope in Action event to support Rosemary's Jones Joy organization. I admire Rosemary not only for being an advocate for victims' families, but her perseverance and willingness to help and fight for children's safety. Rosemary always treats others with respect and is willing to help those in need. Speaking of treating others with respect, I recently had my first children's book published, Energetic Evelyn and the Shiny Yellow Spots. This was written to honor my late mother, Evelyn Schultz, who was a kind, considerate, caring, and humble person. The theme of my book is respect, perseverance, anti-bullying, and treating others with kindness. Here's an excerpt from my book. Tricky Treats blurted out, I am unique, different, an individual, and a brave little bunny. I truly feel I can make a difference. I will make yellow spots the new normal. I am going to change the bunny's attitudes and make the bunny world a wonderful place to hop in. I am going to stand up for myself and all the bunnies that are different and unique. Upon hearing this, Energetic Evelyn, and this is Energetic Evelyn, is so happy to hear that Tricky Treats has decided to stay unique and keep his shiny spots. My book is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Additionally, I would be happy to personalize a book for you. My email address is energeticevelyn@yahoo.com. My husband Freddie and I are proud sponsors of the Jones Joy organization. In conclusion, I would like to thank Rosemary for her support during these challenging times. We all need a little respect and showing kindness to one another. Thank you so much for listening.
Mike, so this is what they call a shibori. Anybody want to feel it, I'll be glad to let you see it. And then if I'm a police officer, the INF is basically saying, okay, Mike, can you feel this? Yes, sir. Down your face. You can control a man to the point that your feet up, cross them, hands up behind your back. Can you get out of this?
No, sir.
Try.
I can, sir.
This is Professor Harold Takushian at Fordham University in New York City with a brief message for you about heroes and particularly the remarkable family of Rosemary D'Alessandro in New Jersey and her children, John, Michael, and Joan. At Fordham University, we've been studying something called homicide activism. And Rosemary has been kind enough to speak at Fordham about this phenomenon. There are roughly 15,000 murders each year in the United States. And of course, the victims are not only the person who was killed, but the loved ones around them. What a clear source of grief it is to lose a loved one to homicide, someone intentionally taking the life of another person. And yet there are few among these grievers who rise above it. Homicide activism is defined as a redirection of a survivor's anguish and rage, love and loss, into positive energy to create positive social change and give some meaning to a seemingly meaningless death. Let me describe to you some of the heroes among us. You may recognize Candy Lightner, a California homemaker. Back in 1980, her daughter, Carrie, was killed by a drunk driver. Candy felt so distraught, and even more so when she learned that the drunk driver who killed her had a long record. At that time, this homemaker said, "I promised myself on the day of Carrie's death that I would fight to make this needless homicide count for something more positive in the years ahead." And of course, since 1980, this mom's courageous and fierce advocacy has caused a change in laws in the United States so that today drunk driving is not a small matter, but people who get behind the wheel when inebriated face serious charges afterwards. Carrie Lightner was a homicide activist who made a difference. Another example is John Walsh. His son Adam was only 6 years old when he was killed. He never came home, and later his body was found. What a time of grief for John, his wife, their family. It was a very hard time, but somehow John found the strength to turn that grief around into a fierce determination to make a difference, and he became the host of America's Most Wanted. Over 1,200 criminals have been caught because of John Walsh's effort to bring criminals to justice. And finally, Rosemary D'Alessandro lost her daughter Joan at the age of 7. Joan was delivering Girl Scout cookies and said, "I'll be back soon, Mom," and never came home. Rosemary not only lost her daughter, but she was surprised to find out that the killer was going to be released early from prison. At that time, Rosemary and John and Michael became homicide activists. And 47 years later, because of their effort, Joan's Joy Foundation, the website on your screen here, has been responsible for local, statewide, and even national legislation to protect future children from being victimized by predators. Rosemary D'Alessandro's efforts have made such a difference in our society. And although Joan was only 7 years old when her life was taken, here we are 4 decades later, speaking about the difference she made in society because of her family, their love for her. It says in Scripture, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." And at Fordham University, I've written on this topic. If anyone wants to contact me at that email, takush@aol.com, I will send you a report on homicide activists, about 30 heroes among us. like Rosemary DeLisandro, who have turned their grief into productive activity. It's fair to say that society is not the same because of these heroes who are able to make a difference and protect the lives of others because of their own loss. Thank you.
Of all the forces that make for a better world, none is so powerful as hope. With hope, one can think, one can dream, one can thrive. With hope, have everything.
It's empty in the valley of your heart. The sun, it rises slowly as you walk away from all the fears and all the faults you've left behind. The harvest left no fruit for you to eat. You cannibal, you meat eater, you see. But I have seen the same, I know the shame in your defeat. But I'll hold on hope, and I won't let you choke on the noose around your neck. And I'll find strength in pain, and I will change my ways. I'll know my name as it's cold again. To fill my time, you take what is yours and I'll take mine. Now let me at the truth which will refresh my broken mind. So tie me to a post and block my ears. I can see widows and orphans through my tears, and know my cold despite my faults and despite my growing fears. But I'll hold on hope, and I'll let you choke on the noose around your neck. And I'll find strength in pain, and I'll change my ways. I'll know my name as it's cold again. So come out of your cave, walking on your hands, and see the world hanging upside down. You can understand dependence when you know their maker's land. So make your sirens call and sing all you want. I will not hear what you have to say, 'cause I need freedom now, and I need to know how to live my life as it's meant to be.
Hello, my name is Sean Yazdi, and I'm fortunate to be part of this program and the service Jones Joy Foundation provides to children. Next up is a presentation from the YWCA Healing Space, Bergen County's care center and resource for sexual violence victims. They have been taking part in Jones Joy Child Safety Fest for 5 years, setting up the Clothesline Project, which gives victims and supporters an opportunity to design a t-shirt that expresses themselves and supports victims. Many people have made t-shirts for Joan at past events. Thank you, and here's the presentation from the YWCA Healing Space.
Hello, our team at Healing Space, Bergen County Sexual Violence Resource Center, are happy to support Jones Joy's message of child safety and recognize how hard they've worked to bring awareness around this critical topic to our community. Healing Space has had the opportunity to share information about our services that include sexual violence prevention, education, and counseling services for those impacted by sexual violence at many of Jones Joy events over the years. During these challenging times, we support this organization's perseverance and commitment to educating others on the importance of child safety. If you or anyone you know is in need of help or resources pertaining to sexual violence, please call our free confidential hotline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 201-487-2227. For more information about our services, please visit us at www.ywcannj.org. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Simaz Sadik and I'm the director at YWCA Northern New Jersey's Healing Space. I'm going to introduce you to Healing Space and all the supportive services and resources that are offered here. Healing Space is Bergen County's only sexual violence resource center. It is a safe, welcoming, and affirming place for survivors of sexual violence and their loved ones. Healing Space offers various supportive services and resources such as a 24/7 crisis intervention hotline, which is staffed by confidential sexual violence advocates, prevention education programs and events for the community, and individual and group counseling services, which help process trauma history and be a guide during the healing process. Healing Space's crisis intervention hotline and online chat is available 24/7 and provides free assistance to anyone affected by or with questions surrounding sexual violence. The hotline and online chat are staffed by trained confidential sexual violence advocates.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Short, and I'm proud to be Director of Development at Center for Hope and Safety, Bergen County's nonprofit domestic violence support organization. We serve thousands of women, men, and their children each year who are living with the fear of violence in their homes. During this COVID-19 pandemic, it has, not surprisingly, become even more difficult for members of our Bergen County community who are living with domestic violence to find support as they are isolated with their abusers. And we are here to help. We're here to make sure that everyone in Bergen County knows that they can leave and we can help. We've remained open throughout the crisis and we will continue to remain open as the pandemic evolves. So thank you so much for all of your support. If you or anyone else you know needs help, we're here for you.
Never Alone Again Domestic Violence Organization and Resource Center is here to support victims and families suffering from domestic abuse. Domestic violence comes in many forms and can happen to anyone. Many suffer in silence, living with their abuser, afraid to seek help. Never Alone Again is dedicated to providing confidential, individually tailored support services for victims and survivors of abuse. You are not alone. It is not your fault, and help is available. For more information or to make a donation, visit neveraloneagain.org.
Hello everyone, my name is Leslie Rodriguez and I am the Director of Children and Youth Services at the Center for Safety and Change. The Center for Safety and Change is the only victim crime agency in Rockland County, New York. We provide services to victims and their survivors of domestic violence, sexual trauma, human trafficking, and other crimes. Services include therapeutic services, specifically such as creative arts therapy to children and youth ages 21 and under to help them heal from their trauma. We also provide advocacy, supportive counseling, shelter, court accompaniment, legal services, safety planning, and trainings on how to end gender-based violence. It's important to know that all crimes affect children. Please listen, support, and believe what children tell you. If you or anyone you know would like more information on domestic violence, sexual trauma, human trafficking, or other crimes, or would like to know how you can help or get involved, please contact us at our 24-hour hotline at 845-634-3344, or you can text us at 845-286-4997. Center for Safety and Change is located at 9 Johnson's Lane, New City, New York. Please know that all our services are free and confidential. Thank you.
My name is Maria Peralta. I work at Center for Safety and Change as a bilingual human trafficking specialist. Human trafficking is a practice of exploiting a person for the purpose of sexual or labor servitude using force, fraud, or coercion. In my department, we work with adult survivors of labor and sex trafficking right here in Rockland County, as well as with CSEC survivors. CSEC is a commercial sexual exploitation of children. CSEC is a form of child sexual abuse, and it is any instance where a person under the age of 18 has exchanged a sexual act or performance in exchange for something of value. Actions which constitute CSEC under the New York State Safe Harbor Law include but are not limited to sexually explicit video or photography, stripping, exotic dancing, and child sex trafficking. Who are the victims of child trafficking, you may be asking yourself? What makes a youth at risk? Children who have a history of sexual abuse, physical abuse, maltreatment, or neglect. Children with a history of substance abuse. LGBTQ youth, with people of color being at a higher risk. Refugees, immigrants, and non-English speaking youth, as well as homeless and runaway youth. A common misconception is that traffickers are strangers, when in reality, youth are most frequently trafficked by family members, boyfriends, girlfriends, peers, gangs, or community members. Some red flags to look for are youth that leave home frequently and or for significant periods of time. Show signs of mental, physical, or sexual abuse. Someone who has a significantly older partner or spends a lot of time with a controlling person or older adult. Indications or reports of domestic violence or intimate partner violence. Lies about age or carries a fake form of identification. Housing is provided by the employer. Reluctant to discuss how they make money, where they live, how or when they came to the U.S. Has large amounts of money or costly items that he or she cannot reasonably afford. And significant reduction in contact with family, friends, or other supportive networks. If you think you know a child that is being trafficked or is at risk, please feel free to call our hotline, 845-634-3344, for a consultation with an advocate. Services available are including but not limited to counseling, help navigating services, mentoring, and safety planning, legal assistance, and accompaniments. Our CSEC high-risk program ensures that youth who have been trafficked or who are at risk for commercial sexual exploitation are not criminalized, but are instead given a chance to heal with intensive crisis intervention services. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Laura Hudson, and I'm the founder and art therapist at Hearts and Crafts Grief Counseling. We cannot thank Rosemary D'Alessandro and the Jones Joy Fund enough for their heartfelt gifts over these past few years. She keeps our doors open to children, teens, and adults that are living with loss. She asked me to do a special video for the Child Safety Fest this year, and I couldn't think of anything that would be more appropriate than showing you my magic rainbow. It's really easy and simple to make. All you need is some paper towels, a black permanent marker, and lots of regular colored magic markers. You're going to take one piece of paper towel and fold it in half. After you fold it in half, open it up and take your black magic marker and draw a rainbow. Start with the inner side first, the little one, and you can keep going round and round and round. Doesn't matter how many you make, but the more colorful your rainbow is, the better it is. So now you have a rainbow on the inside of your paper towel. Now close that paper towel, and you're going to see it a little bit through your paper towel here. So you're going to take that marker again and go over the lines of your rainbow. Okay. Once you have that rainbow on the outside and on the inside, you're going to take, ooh, I missed one. Let's do one more. You're going to take your colored magic markers. You're going to open up your rainbow so that you see the inside of it and give that rainbow some colors. You can choose your favorite colors. It doesn't have to be exact. And choose some bright ones. Do some red. Add some pink in there. The more colors you use, actually the cooler your rainbow looks when you watch the magic. Now remember, you're doing the colors only on the inside of your rainbow, not the outside. And once you have your colored rainbow done, you're going to close the piece of paper towel back up. So now you don't see the colors at all. You just see your black and white rainbow. Now's when the magic begins. Remember, you needed a big pan of water. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your rainbow and you're going to place it in the water and watch the magic begin. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Afterwards, you can go like this, drip dry your rainbow, and place it on either a newspaper or a paper towel for it to dry. Here, I'll show you it again. Here's another one that I pre-made for you. So remember, you do black and white on the inside, black and white on the outside. That's with your permanent marker. Then on the inside, you color your rainbow and hold it over. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And there's your rainbow. I thought that making a rainbow today would be really appropriate for the Child Safety Fest, because you can't have a rainbow without a little laughter and a little pain, because together they make rainbows. I hope you enjoy making your magic rainbows at your house. Remember, all you need is a paper towel, a black permanent marker, lots of colored markers, either newspaper or a piece of cardboard to put it on for afterwards, and a pan of water. Have fun making your rainbows. I hope you see lots of them out there. Bye.
It is my distinct honor and privilege to thank the Jones Joy Foundation and especially the D'Alessandro family for all of the love and support you've given to the YCS children for well over a decade.
I have to thank you personally, Rosemary, and the Jones Joy Foundation, because you guys have done so much for the children here at the Holly Center. You're one of the main components that make us more so a family. That's what I consider you, and the Jones Joy Foundation. The countless times I picked up the phone and asked for your assistance, whether it was a barbecue, whether it was, you know, the Chromebooks that you provided for the children here and the telehealth services that you assisted with. There's just so many countless things. And again, from the bottom of my heart and from the children here on YCS, we thank you so much for everything you do.
Perhaps the butterfly is proof that you can go through a great deal of darkness and still become something beautiful. That's why it's so fitting that Joan loved butterflies. While her life was cut short by an act of darkness, her beautiful spirit watches over the Holly Center children.
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying the Safety Festival so far. My name is Michael and I'm currently in high school. I've been working with the foundation and Rosemary for about 5 or 6 years now. And for that work, Rosemary gave me a crayon actually to symbolize the importance of what I did for the foundation so far. And I'm actually going to tell you a little bit about what that crayon means to me through a school project that I had to do. So I got an assignment to write about a symbolic object that I had that was special to me. And I decided to write about this crayon that she gave to me, so I'm going to read it for you. My most symbolic object would be a very special crayon that the president of my favorite charity group gave to me. A few years ago, on a Saturday, I was going to a garage sale to check out to see if there was anything good there. It was a typical garage sale with millions of clothes, kitchen accessories, books, and more. I think I only got a picture that one of the sons of the lady that ran the sale took, but I ended up coming out of there with something else besides an object. I went there and talked to the lady in charge of the sale to buy the picture, and once I started talking to her, I had realized how impressive her work was. Her name was Rosemary, and she had told me a story that I will never forget. You see, what I didn't know was that the two sons of Rosemary had a sister named Joan. Joan was 7 years old and was a very bright girl. She was learning ballet, was a Girl Scout, and also played sports. A long time ago, she was delivering those delicious Girl Scout cookies that everyone loves to a neighbor named Joseph McGowan, a Tappan Zee High School chemistry teacher, when she was kidnapped. She was not found for another 3 days until she turned up at a state park dead. She had been sexually molested and killed by the teacher. The police eventually found him and arrested him and received a life sentence, but he was eligible for parole in 14 years. With a goal to keep this man and people like him that molest and kill children under 18 in jail for the rest of their lives with no parole, Rosemary created Joan's Joy. So 45 years and 4 laws later, with a lot of hard work, Rosemary had completed her goal of keeping terrible people like this man in jail. I was very impressed and surprised at how this lady had fought for her daughter and the safety of kids and dedicated a huge part of her life towards this. I had found a great charity and was solving a big problem in our state. So I decided to get involved by collecting money for the foundation, donating, and helping with events. In 2017, when the 4th law was signed, I was asked to reveal the tape for the monument dedicated to Joan at the Hillsdale train station. Of course, I said yes to this opportunity and felt great about doing it. Then only a few weeks after that, I was asked to participate in a fashion show benefiting the organization and the local women's club. I was so nervous because I'd never done anything like it before, and I wasn't too happy about doing it either because I wasn't crazy about showing off or anything like that. So I wore a golfing outfit and had my trusty 6-iron, and I supposedly did great afterwards. After the show, Rosemary had approached me with her envelope in her hand, and she said, "I know you were very nervous and anxious over this show, so this is for you. This expresses Joan's and my gratitude for you helping us raise money for the foundation," she said. I said thanks and went back to my seat to open it. To my surprise, a green crayon fell out along with a letter. The letter was from Rosemary and explained the significance of the crayon. Normally, no one loves a crayon. You use it for a project and either it'll break, the pack will fall out all over the floor, or you'll get the wax all over your hand. But this crayon was different. It was Joan's favorite green crayon that she used to draw all of her pictures with. I was completely stunned, and I was holding such a special object. I immediately ran up to Rosemary and thanked her for this generous gift. So when I got home, I found a plastic box and put the tape from the monument and the crayon in the box along with newspaper reports on both events. I shoved it up on the top of my shelves where I knew it would be safe and thought about how lucky I was. And that's the end of my report for school. So I just wanted to show how the law affects me. It affects me because anyone that is my age or younger that gets sexually molested and killed or will receive a life sentence and will not be put up for parole. And that just makes me feel very safe because I won't have to worry about people that do that on the streets and possibly looking for more kids. So that makes me feel really safe, and I'm really glad that Rosemary fought to make those laws. And this just shows how the foundation just looks in the best interest for kids, because Rosemary and the foundation are just so selfless, and they dedicate their lives to making sure that kids are safe. And they also, more recently, they take kids, underprivileged kids, and they take them to amusement parks like Six Flags, and they donate toys to them. And it's just, the foundation is just all about making sure that kids are happy and safe. So I want to thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Safety Fest.
Alessandro and all our wonderful friends at Jones Joy. I'm James Michael Riley, and I'm honored that you asked me to be a part of this. Velvet, I can wish you for the collar of your coat, and fortune smiling all along your way. But more I cannot wish you than to wish you find your love, your own true love this day. Mansions I can wish you, 7 footmen all in red, and calling cards upon a silver tray. But more I cannot wish you than to wish you find your love, your own true love this day. Standing there, gazing at you, full of the bloom of youth, standing there, gazing at you with a sheep's eye and the licorice tooth. Music, I can wish you merry music while you're young, and wisdom when your hair has turned to gray. But more I cannot wish you than to wish you find your love, your own true love this day. With a sheep's eye and the licorice tooth and the strong arms to carry you away.
Hello, everyone. I hope that a lot of you are staying, and I want to tell you that I was going to speak in the beginning and then a little bit in between, but I want to wrap it up all together. First of all, I am very thankful for all of you coming together. About 150 people were involved in this event, and that includes volunteers, people that brought baskets already made. That includes the stores, 32 stores involved, and 37 sponsors. And then people that brought items to baskets. And then, especially John, this was a first effort for him with the virtual situation, that we had to work it that way. And I really think that he deserves a really good hand for what he did, because I did see a lot of it he wanted to surprise me with, so I saw for the first time his backgrounds and what he did. And then I wanted to finish, it's a story, this was a story. I don't know if you got that from it, but as you see, it started with like the story of Joan, then it went into talking about her as a person, and then her energy leading into society, and then seeing what Joan's Joy does, to help others. And there was a special painting to me, and it was about the sun. And I loved the colors of the sun, and it was done by Monica. And I said, this has to be put towards the end, because even though in all our lives, every single one of us, we have darkness, but the sun always comes up. And depending upon where it is, and like say certain areas, the sun is quite orange, and the sand could be pretty warm colors like that. And it just says so much. And as we know, a lot of songs are about the sun too, right? And then, we're going to start now, with the baskets. About 87 people, even more, because the phone was ringing and ringing when we were, like after, like tonight. So we have at least 90 people that bought tickets. And just with, like, I was going to talk, like in a way of first talking about a fire truck. That's when I knew things were going to be different, when I saw the fire truck there at the house when I was talking to Joan's killer, to see where she was, if she had gone there. And when I saw the fire truck, that, that told me, she was, and saw him together. I saw both together. He was right there. I knew she wasn't coming back. But you see, as we know, Joan has come back through the white butterfly. And if you want to see more about the story of that, you could go to the program. Just click onto the program on the home page, and there will be lots of different areas. Just go to the white butterfly area. And it gives you the program, but it also gives you other parts of Joan's Joy that when you have time, just take a look at it, learn more. See, you heard what Kayla said about the book. Yes, the book is so hard to read. She was 17 when she read it. But in order to know the whole story, to understand it all, you need to read it, you see? And that's what she was telling you as a 17-year-old. And then I want to tell you, everyone, because, from different parts of the United States, and some of you are even in Europe, you're probably now sleeping, but you will be able to hear this on YouTube, is that, we have so many things that Joan's Joy does. And one of them is a school program called Relaxation and Kindness. And with that one, we donate it to the schools, and we have a professional that will teach the teachers how to work the program in their classroom. And that could be done all over the world, and we could donate it to different schools, and it doesn't matter, you don't need to be in New Jersey. So I want to share that. And you see, Joan's energy, as you see, what you saw tonight, very powerful, and it could not die. So therefore, it's living in a different way by doing good for people, and she is saving a lot of people's lives through what happened and through the awareness of it. I became her voice in this mission. She wanted me to be her voice because she didn't want this to stop. She believed in social justice even then, even though she didn't know that word. So it's so awesome to see tonight the 38 of you involved with the entertainment, involved with the presentations, involved with the messages, involved with your sharing of your heart, of your care, of your love, of your songs, of your dance, of your words. I mean, astronomical, And I thank you so much for that, because I think us all together, and that includes all the people that worked on everything, that includes all the entertainers, presenters, all of you that really need a hug, and I sent you a hug. All of you there that are listening to this, all of you that bought tickets. So it's a very big message here. It's a message of how when we work together, which we are doing, which we have done, and it's culminating tonight with this video and what we're going to be doing now, is that look what we can do. So you see, the whole theme of this whole event this time was hope and action. So you see what the action did? See what your hope did? So hope and action really works. And I'm so proud of each of you. And I think that, there's so much that you have to share and give. And, and I respect you all. And just share my love with all of you. So enjoy now. Maybe you'll win something. You never know. I mean, we have a lot of people bought tickets, but as we know, guess what? The money is going to help and then this is what I finish with. It's going to help the organizations that we help, and we're even going to start now with Rockland County, the Center for Safety and Change, and they deal with domestic violence, sexual trauma, and also human trafficking. But it's going to be the board. I'm forgetting the word now. The tablets, and then the Chrome books, and it's going to be school books, and it's going to be maybe like giving them a chance to get some lunch, like curbside, and all that. And then if we can, even giving them like a machine called a fog machine to disinfect all the areas of where the children stay.
White butterfly shine bright in the morning light before the sun is high. White butterfly shine bright. By the afternoon she had me smiling fine. She's a joy, she's my friend, and I go out to stay in. Loving, fun, free spirit you've always been. Gentle is her style, a strong, sincere, selfless way. Fields of green and orange flower dreams. White butterflies shine bright as the evening turns and the moon says high. White butterflies shine bright when I lay at night with the stars so bright. She's a joy, she's my friend, and I go out to stay in. Loving, fun, free spirit you've always been. Gentle is her style, with a strong, sincere, selfless way. Fields of green and orange flower dreams. We would sing and dance and clap our hands. You steward us now, but in a different way. And through your strength and love, it's like a hand from above. All of the times I'll not locked away, they're still alive and well, just like ringing a bell. We just can't forget when there's so much at stake, and it's worth